Alright then, everyone, hello, and welcome back to EF Mod. This week we're going to actually be taking on a different take on the Eastern Front mod. We're actually going to be looking at an American game versus Wehrmacht, and these are two new players, not Glimmerman and Dreamer and Dark and Zenith anymore. Now I actually have some fresh meat as we are in open beta. And this week I actually have, or this time, I actually have Seamus, who is my new co-caster for the mod. Introduce yourself, Seamus. Say hello.
Hello.
Yes, he's going to be joining me in co-casting probably from now on as much as he can. I'll still probably do a few solos just to make sure I keep myself in practice for doing it by myself in case he's never around. But he'll be around he'll be around more often than not. So today we're actually looking at Americans versus Austria, and this is an interesting setup because Austria and Americans are they're kind of like an even match. It's very much based around the Americans getting BARs and getting that long-range DPS, because the one problem with it is that Austria Lancers, at least in the current patch especially, are medium-range beasts because of the MKB and the G41s and the fact that they're naturally good at medium ranges. So they're just naturally just going to wreck at close range, or at close to medium range. So riflemen actually have a hard time dealing with that. But riflemen are stronger than conscripts, therefore they can actually take on the Lancers a little bit easier. But with the BARs, the riflemen will absolutely destroy Lancers. But that's in the early game. As far as late game, Panther is pretty much penetrated by most AT guns. Frontally, the Austria one. I'm not sure about the Tiger. As far as American, from the few times I played American versus Austria. But let's not get into that. We're actually going to be watching Maxcov 48, I think, or whatever, versus Muibed. I'm going to be watching from the Americans' perspective. Americans were my main in Vico, and Seamus is going to be watching from Maxcov's perspective. And we're going to start at the 10-second mark in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we have a standard, and we have actually a different start from Muibed. And it's a single engineer start. He actually isn't building a secondary engineer. As far as everyone knows, the Austria start with 2 Stern Pioneers when they begin working. And now, this is not going to be a really high level, great game. This is actually going to be more of probably a noobier game, as you'd say. Just due to the fact that, from what I've understood of Maxcov from playing with him in 2v2s and stuff, he's not the best player, and I'd be happy to say that to him. He's still a noob to the game, either to the game or just the faction. But he tries his best, and I'll give him that for trying. But we have a single engineer start from the American player, and we have 2 rifle starts. So he didn't get his secondary engineer in order to get a second rifle queued up early on to get the next rifle out faster. And what do we have coming from the Austria, Seamus?
Just Lancers so far.
Alright then. What do you usually go for with Austria whenever you play the current patch? Or even when you played closed beta?
I generally do 3 or 4 Lancers and then the close quarters upgrade.
Close quarters upgrade, in case you don't know, if you're not too up on information, the close quarters upgrade he's talking about is the MKB 42 or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. It's a close quarters weapon. That's all you need to know. We have a double rifle start. He's probably going to be maybe going for 4 rifles. In terms of map control, due to the going for only 1 engineer start, his beginner engineer, Muibed is a bit behind in terms of map control, especially considering that the Austria gain map control a lot faster due to having 2 Stern Pioneers for capping. And we have our first little engagement between the riflemen in the center next to and the Lancers, both rush for cover. But there are now 2 Lancers against this 1 rifleman. Even in green cover, these riflemen are only going to be able to hold for so long. You can actually hear that the Lancer Sergeant, I believe he actually does use a G41. What is it? EF Mod doesn't actually use G43s like the Panzer Elite do. They actually use G41s, the Lancers do. And here we go, we see Maxcov going for a little bit of a flank here on the green cover of the riflemen. already lost 2 men, and they've lost a decent amount of health. They're gonna have to go ahead and retreat back, as expected. Maxcov has, Muibed, I mean, has actually left his, munitions point, uncapped, which is interesting of a decision. Up in the north, we have the Riflemen and the Stern Pioneers actually, had some little scuffle there. Riflemen knocked the Stern Pioneers off the point. Going ahead and decapping that. And now, it looks like, how many Lancers does, Maxcov have? 3, 4?
3 at the moment.
3 Lancers. So he's going for probably maybe a 4 Lancer start. We have our 4th rifle actually coming out from the barracks.
It's actually floating 450 manpower. I'm not sure what he's doing with it.
Maybe he's going for a sniper. That could be. That is a hypothetical. Lancers going in for another flank on that single rifleman, but they retreat back and they were supported by 2 other rifleman squads. And now the Lancers are losing their own large amount of health due to all the carbines from the riflemen firing on them. Even in green cover, look at the amount of health they're losing. Lancers coming up, another Lancer squad coming up in support. We have the currently there's no sign of a triage or any type of tech building. But we do see BARs like I suspected. So Muibed is going for a 4 rifles. Yep, 4 single engineer 4 rifle BARs. Interesting build order. But we have to remember that Austere is not Wehrmacht, so you can do different things against them. As the metagame between Americans and Austere is not exactly balanced per se, but it's been talked about in the balance discussion. As a balancer, I can tell you that it's been discussed as far as how Americans can counter Austere and all that, and whether or not Austere is a bit too overpowered versus Americans. It's at least been discussed, so you know that at least it's talked about, because Americans is the 2nd most played faction probably as far as allies in EF. And wow, look at that American squad. Literally tank the damage from this Lancer squad. And that was a nice bar pop in the middle of the engagement. Maxcov doesn't seem to be noticing it. He loses a lot more health and 1 more man on the Lancer squads. And now they're actually really low. But he... funny, as the Americans were teching BARs, he was teching the MKB. So, it's a double pop for both sides. Or it's a pop for both sides. What is your view of Americans versus Austere? Just have you ever tried it or anything like that, Seamus?
Yeah, we played a very close game with that setup a month back or so, and well, my view is that in an infantry engagement, the Americans will win, especially if they time their grenades properly. But Austere will dominate with tanks if the Americans give them the chance.
Indeed. Now we have this Rifleman squad actually trying to take on the Stern Pioneer and those Lancers. Actually did some pretty nice damage to the Stern Pioneers right there, taking down 1 man, almost took down another man on retreat, and doing some nice health damage to the actual Lancers as they are moving into the building for the defensive area. But we have another Lancer squad moving up. Meanwhile, the engineers are retreating back to base, more than likely to tech the either a triage or a supply yard. More than likely a supply yard, get that M8 out as fast as possible. Because the one thing about Austere is that they have very good ways to punish people who don't get vehicles fast enough against them. Because the M8 can actually do some pretty good damage. And wow, nice use of rifle suppression there from the BAR rifleman. Either that was rifle suppression or that was just all the BARs firing at the same time. More likely rifle suppression. Suppressing the Lancers. Lancers are actually very, very weak to suppression teams and the like. So one thing about Russians that... did I say Russians or Lancers? I said Lancers. Lancers are very weak to suppression teams. And that's one thing about the Russian versus... and he is getting a triage. The Russian versus Austere setup is that Russians have no setup team that does suppression. Therefore, it causes issues for the Russians to actually suppress the Lancers, but they have abilities that allow them to suppress. What do you think of this map design called Kontelnikovo, or however you pronounce it?
It's pretty good, but I've noticed that in games versus Wehrmacht, it's very easy for the Wehrmacht to just wire things off and place MGs.
Oh, that was a really, really mistimed retreat there. He could have actually killed that Lancer squad at the house, at the medium fuel point over here near the right-hand VP. I don't know what was going up there. And from what I just heard, the American player, Muibed, just went infantry company, so he's probably going to be going for some Rangers as he went for rapid deployment.
Losing ground out there.
Rangers versus Austere is something. It depends on what the Austeres went. Has Maxcov chosen a doctrine yet?
Nope.
Not that you noticed? Okay. We have some riflemen waiting here in cover for any type of lowly infantry that wants to come by, and here they go, instantly opening fire on those Stern Pioneers. When all those BARs start cranking, you notice how much health damage they do. Now the supply yard's up and the triage center is up, but we might be seeing the tier 3 building go up. I see the engineers are just waiting probably for the he's probably waiting for the manpower to get the tier 3 building up to start getting some M8s out and an AT gun or two. As far as teching, Maxcov hasn't actually teched yet. He's still at tier 1. He hasn't teched anything else. He's just been producing Lancers. How many Lancers does he have now? 4?
Let's see, he has, yeah, it's 4, but he has 900 manpower.
I don't know what's going on there. And we have our first stripe of vet for the Austere, actually, and what was going on there? I think Muibed's riflemen bugged out there trying to get into that house because they were standing at the door for a long time and the Stern Pioneers just kind of walked into it. We have first stripe of it for actually the Austere and the Americans, but the Lancers are getting, well, they were almost focus fired. Medic Vet was actually chosen for that Lancer squad. Stern Pioneer inside of the house went down. Another rifleman squad down here at the south is actually getting double teamed, though. He's going to have to retreat that immediately. He's not going to be able to take on all this DPS, even with the BARs. Both Lancers are actually focus firing the American rifleman squad. They just get away. They just get away. No BARs dropped or anything. Luckily enough. If those are G41 Lancers, though, they might have actually they might have actually went ahead and took out that rifleman squad. We have our first Ranger squad called in. Upgrading with SMGs right now. What do you think of this? Getting Rangers for one thing, and then upgrading them with SMGs. Do you think this will help them against the MKBs?
Oh yeah. If he
well,
gets
see
grenades,
right
he's gonna dominate.
Oh god! those almost wrecked that Lancer squad. The other Lancer squads are getting attacked by the riflemen. Those SMGs on those Rangers are cranking up the DPS at that close quarters combat. Those Lancers can't hold for much under all that attack. As far as teching, we still don't have the tier 3 building up yet. We have the American player actually. He's kind of floating a bit of fuel in comparison to what he could be building, but he's saving his fuel. He chose something. Oh, he's getting his first supply yard upgrade to actually get more manpower. Due to the Rangers having such high upkeep, he's actually needing to, get some more manpower. In terms of map control, look at the map control now. Maxcov's actually on the major defensive. I wouldn't be surprised if he chose Fortress Army Dock at this point, just to help defend himself.
No, he has chosen a doctrine, it seems, but there's no active ability yet, so I can't see which one it is.
Ah. And the Austere use the German voices, so unless you know German, you're not going to know exactly what it is. I'd assume if it's not an active ability, he probably did choose either Fortress, or he chose, or he might have chose Support, because I remember that both of those have first level non-active upgrades or abilities. We've had a little bit of an engagement between those BAR riflemen and those MKB Lancers, but now a bunch more came in, and those BAR riflemen activated suppressive fire again on top of those Lancers. But they're now about to get attacked by 2 other Lancer squads. They're going to have to go ahead and retreat back. The Rangers probably should stay away from this entire fight because they don't want to exactly lose that much health or men. Rangers are very expensive being elite infantry. Even at close range, they're not going to be able to take on that much. But here we have some BAR riflemen coming in to actually support the Rangers. But as you see, all those what was it, MKB Lancers all just focus fire down the Rangers. We actually have a sniper out. Yeah, he did go the defensive side and got a sniper. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Maxcov did. The Austere sniper in the current patch is actually slightly broken. Did he just double snipe? Yeah, he did. He probably does the same glitch that the Wehrmacht sniper does when it snipes. Either that or he's using 2. But one thing that he did was that with staying in tier 1 for so long, he left himself open to a lot of sort of a tank rush. And as you see here, we actually have the tank depot going up. Interesting choice going tank depot when you have OMCG with infantry. But I know a lot of players don't actually like to go don't like to look at OMCG as a reason not to go tank depot, because the one problem with OMCG is that it's completely based on the RNG, and as such it could end up causing you a lot more problems than helping you out. BA Rifleman and Ranger moving up. That sniper was actually a pretty good choice to fight the Rangers, but the thing is... Whoa. And here's where the problem comes with the Lancers, that Vet 2, they're really powerful, but they're getting down really low on health. One man, G4 and died! That was massively a bad mistake from Maxcov, losing his Vet 2 Lancers. Vet 2 Lancers is like raid mode. No grenades on these riflemen, though. But he gets another Vet 2 Lancer now, because those riflemen just walked into the MKB Lancer. 15 infantry kills on that Lancer as well. But now these Rangers going up close and personal. Maxcov doesn't want to lose another Vet 2 squad. That was actually really bad. Almost lost another one. He even lost the MKB on the Sergeant there. He lost the Sergeant with the MKB there. That was really bad. I really don't know what Muibed's doing though with this what he's doing with that rifleman squad in the house though. And his match has turned a lot better than I expected. I actually thought that was going to be a lot worse. Both sides have done some pretty good things to fight the other, and made some pretty big mistakes here and there. But overall, been a pretty good match so far. But now that we have the tank depot up, I'm not really sure what Muibed's going to do. He doesn't have the manpower exactly to warrant the tank hall or the tank depot, but he doesn't have the fuel for anything. He's actually going for grenades because he doesn't want that situation again where he had a Lancer squad all bunched up behind green cover and couldn't get rid of them. At least I assume. He is filling a bit of munitions though, so he could hypothetically get a flamer or something. I'm not sure. He has enough munitions for grenades though. That sniper is doing the nice bit of DPS it needs to though. He's throwing a grenade on those Lancers, double grenades. That was actually a really bad decision there. Oh god, and those Rangers are stuck right there in the middle, and the sniper could just open right up on them. Oh my god. That 10th shot, two double shot thing from the Austere sniper is slightly ridiculous.
Artillery support is proven.
What's the vet on that sniper anyway, vet 1?
Yeah, just vet 1 at the moment.
Oh, okay. The one thing about the Austere sniper that's kind of broken at the moment is that the Austere sniper is very much, it has scout vet. Therefore, it actually, if you don't know what the Austere vets do, is that the Austere vets actually give, bonuses that are to, like, line of sight and all of that, and that was really bad, yeah, he did, that wasn't very good. He lost oh, 2 BARs dropped from those riflemen. Oh my god. And they were given to the Vet 2 Lancers.
Shit.
That's like a massive. Oh shit! I think I've lost here. that's those things. And we do have support army doc chosen from the Austere. Oh god. Vet 2 Lancers with 2 BARs and a MKV. Muibed saying it's pretty tough. I think it is pretty tough. We have a Sherman coming out now from the tank depot. Ugh. That was just brutal. Losing 2 BARs.
Actually, he chose Panzer 38 instead of artillery. That's might be a good choice against the Sherman.
Well, against the Sherman, well, I don't think he knew that the Sherman was coming, but yeah, the Panzer 38T will have at least he'll have something to do against the Sherman.
Yeah, I hasn't seen the Sherman yet, but I personally I would have gone for the howitzer, but well, depends on the situation.
Yeah, I know you would have went for the Wesp. I know you would have went for the Wesp. You know how I know? Because you go for the Wesp every single time. And actually, we have an interesting little matchup here. SMG Rangers versus MP41 Sturmfusiliers. And wow. Whoa! Sniper goes down to the Sherman. That was pretty nice. But the one thing about the something that for the next patch, so that way people know, also did, yeah, an M9 bazooka was actually dropped, so that's one more SMG for the Rangers. But something for the next patch so people know is that Panzerjägers will not be as spammable as these guys are in the current patch, where they're like 250 manpower, about the same amount as a Pigrin. And for being a Pigrin, they're so freaking durable and so spammable. They won't be the same in the next patch. Actually, next patch they'll be 300 something manpower, if I'm remembering correctly. Also, Sturmfusiliers don't think of Sturmfusiliers as actually that great of infantry units. They're more of a Sturmfusiliers are more like Grens with 2 Shreks and MP41s. And their MP41s, excuse me, just for your information, MP41s are actually not close range, they're mid-range. Alright, here we have a big engagement going to happen right here. Sherman opening up on the Lancers, killing 2 of them outright. I think he's going for a crush. Oh, stunned Sherman. Got back up out of there. But the Panzerjägers' Shreks are so freaking... Oh god! That was almost a lost Sherman there. The Riflemen were able to knock off both the Lancer squads at least to get them off the field. But against all these Sturmfusiliers and the Panzerjägers, and look at that Panzerjäger squad. Took a lot of damage, but didn't actually lose that many men. And they don't drop their Shrek that much, I believe. Was another problem. Rifleman trying to throw a grenade there.
Artillery support is now available.
I don't know what Muibed's doing with that Rifleman. He's kind of scaring me with that. Map control is 50-50 for both sides. This rifle squad in this house has been here forever, not really doing anything, not really helping or, you know, doing much in the house. I'm not really sure why Muibed's leaving it there. As far as actual what is it, map control and everything, yeah, it's 50-50, but also in terms of units, it looks like we have, for the American, we have the 4 rifles. I think he reproduced the rifle. Yeah, he did. He produced another rifle, but I didn't even notice. But he has the Rangers and a single engineer that he hasn't been using much of. But for the Austere, what do we have as terms of actual damage output or weapon or infantry?
So he's got 4 Lancers, 1 Engineer, and 2 Shrek squads, and that Panzer 38.
So it's like it's kind of even on both sides in terms of actual unit compositions too. Though I have to admit, the Sturmfusiliers are slightly ridiculous in the fact that they get those dual Panzer Shreks and come with the Panzer 38T. I'm not sure if that warrants a price increase. Not in the next patch, of course, but maybe later. Also, those Lancers picked up the bazooka. So now they're an AT squad, and the Lancers. The one reason why Lancers were so overpowered in this patch, just so you know, and why Austere in general is kind of overpowered, is because they get so many accuracy and cooldown modifiers that cause ridiculous stuff. And also, how's a Wesp on the field at the same time as the Panzer 38T? I don't remember that being actually able to happen. Riflemen in this house were actually almost were grenaded. And actually have off-map called in somewhere. Oh, called in right there on that blob. Almost killed the Vet 2 Lancer squad. Meanwhile, the riflemen in this house over here are trying to hold out against this other Vet 2 Lancer. But with Medic Vet, they're not going to go down that easy. Vet 2 Rifle Squad, but he's going to actually get grenaded again. He has to get out of that house. It doesn't look like he's noticing it. He's really low on health, but he's a Vet 2 Rifle Squad versus Vet 2 Lancers retreat. But he has to get out of that house and retreat those guys back to base now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Panzer 38T actually is almost killed by the Sherman. Sturmfusiliers are trying to go after it. Rifleman said, "This isn't anything like the training." Yeah, I'm sure it's not. You weren't exactly on the Eastern Front back in 1941. Were you, right? Were you, small rifleman? Looks like... Oh, God. Finally, he's moving those Vet 2 rifles out of that building. Thank God. It's interesting. Those Vet 2 rifles were in that building for about good, maybe 7 minutes, maybe. And for being in there for 7 minutes, they got Vet 2, which is more that you can say for all the rifles that have been running around. That's kind of funny and kind of pathetic. In VP's terms, it's actually the Americans are ahead in terms of VPs. It's 331 to 261. But the Austere did pull a comeback in the sense that when they got those Vet 2 Lancers and MKBs, they were able to actually come back a bit. These engineers probably need to go ahead and start repairing this. Oh, actually, no, the Sherman's actually fully repaired. It didn't even take any damage. I thought it did. We have a second Sherman out from the American player. This is going for double Shermans. Probably to follow this infantry as he notices, and this is actually a pretty good thing for him to do. Was that the thing about it is that the the American player has had to notice that most of what he's fighting are infantry. Therefore, with fighting infantry, what's the best way to fight infantry is with anti-infantry. And most of the tanks that or vehicles that his opponent is holding onto are actually only anti-infantry tanks. Yet again, another rifle squad left in the house. But yeah, this time they're not Vet 1, so they can't actually, they don't get the damage boost that they usually get at Vet 1.
Going after a fuel point, one of ours.
Listen up, people.
Rifle squad's kind of sitting here next to the Sherman. Do you ever get this glitch with your Sherman where you see it as like a naked Sherman without all the parts to it?
Oh no, never seen that.
Yeah, it's like a naked Sherman. You don't see the you don't see all the sandbags and stuff on the front. It's completely aesthetic. Oh my God, all those Shreks actually almost killed the riflemen. Vet 2 rifles back on the field, throwing a grenade in that house. Didn't do much. That's pathetic. Both Shermans actually did get damaged by the Panzerjägers. Now you have these 2 rifle squads against this 1 Panzerjäger in a house. Panzerjägers naturally only have pistols, so they're not actually going to be fighting any riflemen or any type of infantry anytime soon. We have a secondary ranger squad called in, upgrading the SMGs themselves. That's 2 rangers and there are 2 Sturmfusiliers also. So it's becoming an interesting matchup. Oh, these Panzerjägers and these Sturmfusiliers found out the Shermans. Muibed's trying to retreat back a bit, but all those Shreks, God, and that is why the Panzerjägers will not be as spammable next patch. That specific reason. Just focus fire and then kill. That's really ridiculous. It's so sad too. If those Rangers had just moved ahead just a bit to get that Panzerjäger squad, they could have actually saved the Sherman. But that's sad. I think that was a Vet 1 Sherman too, was it? It might have been. It was the one with the MG on its head. Oh, there are those BAR. Oh, wow. Those SMGs have started cranking. We have a Vet 3 Lancer versus a Vet 1 Ranger and a Vet 0 Ranger. Close quarters. Vet 3 Lance is getting really low. Oh, God. That was really close. Almost caused me to have a heart attack. Jesus. That was way too close. We have another Sherman? Yeah, we have another Sherman in production. He's sticking with his anti-infantry setup to his vehicles. I think he needs to get at least one M10 or one Hellcat at least, just for the AT. And Hellcats are generally okay against infantry. They seem to be able to do better against infantry than they can against vehicles. So I say get a Hellcat or two. Why the hell not? It's not like you're really wasting it. Actually, I have the West opening up, probably on the area of the Sherman or in the base. Okay. Did a Ranger go down? Yes, a Ranger went down. To the West. That was a dick move from Maxcov. Massive dick move. And they're gonna turn away and then just walk back to base. Okay. Well, that's a shame. That was both Rangers are upgraded with SMGs, and I think, yeah, now with that gone, that's like 100 munitions and 400 manpower down the drain in like one fall swoop. So I always got to keep your, especially when you're fighting Austrian kids, keep your weapon like that. Oh, we have stickies teched. I forgot about that. Stickies were teched, thrown on the Panzer 3, on the Panzer 38T, giving an instant damage engine critical. And now we have both. Whoa, what was that? What died? Oh, Rifle Squad went down. It dropped another BAR right there at the cutoff.
Losing a fuel point.
The Vet 2 rifle though is still standing in the house. We have the Shermans over here on this side, actually attacking the Stern Fusiliers and the Lancers. Lancers are trying to get a stun grenade off. Stern Fusiliers are losing health, but they haven't lost a single Shrek yet. Shrek was dropped, picked up by the Lancers. Vet 2 Lancers with the Shrek. Rangers running up, trying for the save. Vet 2 Lancers getting really low. Grenade thrown. Vet 2 Lancers. Oh, if that grenade wasn't thrown like that. Oh, the Lancer still went down. Oh, but the rear armor of that Sherman is facing all those Shreks. And oh, that Panzer 38T was almost dead. He really wanted to take out that one Panzer 38T. He got one Sherman away, I'll give him that. He did better than me, where I would just go straight forward, guns blazing. I'm killing it. But, ugh, that's a shame. Also, he's lucky that the Austria player actually didn't take Tier 4. Because with Tier 4, the Austria player could actually, and we also have an off-map coming in somewhere. Probably on all these infantry. I don't think Maxcov's noticed it yet. Oh, almost loses the Panzerjäger squad. Luke drops a Shrek again. But the one thing about it is that the Panzer 38T is actually not that good against tanks. So it's interesting that he hasn't taken out yet. There's another Artie in the base trying to kill something else again. But here we go. The riflemen are not taking that shit anymore. And they're going right up for a sticky, I assume. They actually have a Shrek, too. Whoa, Aces High called in right there on top of the riflemen. That was a nice save of the Wesp. Just, if you don't know what Aces High is just basically a Henschel strafing run for Austria. If you want to really equivocate it to something. Whoa, I think these Rangers actually lost both of their bazookas, so they have 6 SMGs. That's some pretty good AI right there. It's actually, you play a lot of Company of Heroes 2, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's actually, So would you say that this is similar to Coming Through as 2's shock troops?
Yep. Better actually, because the shock troops grenades are pretty shit.
Also, this Sherman actually got the new damage critical. The new damage critical is called turret damaged. It's a critical that basically means that the turret won't move as much. He's trying to crush these Lancers. It's about to get him. Oh, just barely misses. You got another Sherman's coming out. Muibed says GG, but the game isn't over.
It's like 20, 15 minutes something.
Yeah. Engineers almost dead. Stern Fusiliers really overextended themselves trying to take out that Sherman. Actually got suppressed. So now we have two. We actually have. I think he said that in thought of the fact that the Sherman was going to die. He thought the Sherman was going to die, and therefore he said GG. Because if that died, he probably wouldn't have actually stayed in the game or been able to stay in the game. This Vet 3.
How much fuel does he have?
Does how much fuel what? What were you saying?
How much fuel does he have at the moment?
What's his name? Muibed? He has over 130 fuel at the moment. He doesn't have a lot of munitions, although he has a 37 munition income. He's been using it on grenades and suppressive fire and all that. But he does have a good bit of fuel, so he can keep making Shermans if he wants. Though, like I said, he should probably make at least one Hellcat. At least one. The Panzer 38T is actually getting repaired by Stern Pioneers, but Stern Pioneers naturally have rudimentary repair, so it causes problems with repairing vehicles because the Austere can't really repair vehicles that well. Also, a secondary or a tertiary engine. I think another engineer was produced. I'm not sure if that was the. If he produced another one, I'm not sure if the one here is still the same one. I remember I saw the other one was dying. Alright, now this is something that I see a lot of players make the mistake of when they're throwing grenades. If you want to throw a grenade and your opponent is not up on it, and you know your opponent might not notice it, something you can always do is just it's very simple. Do a facing command and then press the grenade key and then throw the grenade. It actually just kind of hides the grenade because the rest of the squad moves up, while the grenade thrower stays back to throw the grenade from the furthest distance away. So you won't notice it as well. Of course, experienced players will know it, but will know the trick. But inexperienced players should kind of learn that trick.
The enemy is after our victory.
Rifleman with the Panzerschreck or whatever, you can go in and return back to base. Oh god! Oh god! Almost dead due to the BAR Lancers at Vet 3. That was, that'd have been sad. Double Shermans running out, though. Into Panzerjägers and Sturmfusiliers and Vet 3 Lancers.
They're going after one of our munitions.
If they were pimped out with those 50 cals, I'm gonna be honest, those Panzerfusiliers probably would have been dead. You know? Panzerjägers go down. Stern Fusiliers are pretty low, but they're Vet 1. The Lancers, close quarters MKB Lancers are actually getting trying to get crushed by the Sherman. Now they retreat back. This one Sherman's staying out though, and those Lancers with the other Panzerschreck are still running around at Vet 3. I think in terms of Vet, the Austere is actually winning the Vet war. In terms of Vet, yeah, because the Americans only have but so many vetted units. The Vet 2 rifle, the Vet 1 rifle, the Vet 1 Ranger, and the Vet 0 rifle, and the Engineers are Vet 0, and both of the Shermans are Vet 0. But this is due to a problem of the Austere in this patch not giving much veterancy experience, which is a problem for this current patch, was that the Austere Lancers didn't give that much vet. Especially compared to Volks. I think Volks give like 1.5 XP, while the Lancers only gave like 0.9 XP, so killing a Lancer is actually not that big a deal in terms of veterancy. We had OMCG unlocked, and we actually have a third Sherman coming out, so we have 3 Shermans. I'm assuming, I hope that he actually does get the upgun, because if he gets the upgun on these Shermans, they'll be able to take out that Panzer 38T very easily, and if they rush the Wesp, they'll actually be able to take out the Wesp in like 3 shots from all 3 of them. One each. SMG Rangers running up to these Lancers. Really blobbed up though. Barely dodged that grenade, but they caused the Vet 3 Lancers to leave. Sturm Fusiliers standing around trying to grab that Panzerschreck again. I guess the last thing he wants to do is give up a Panzerschreck. There are so many dropped weapons in this game. We have the Wesp opening up again. Vet 2 rifles popped! Oh god! But I think was Ace's High activated? No, it looked like Ace's High was activated. The Shermans are trying to... Oh, whoa, those Lancers got to Ace Vet now. At 34 infantry kills. Off-map called in on the Wesp and the Sturm Pioneers. Wesp is really slow on the retreat though, but luckily enough the shell doesn't... almost hits it. Lancers, even with being Ace Vet, they're not going to be able to take on Shermans at this rate. Oh god! Taking a lot of health damage and explosions. Don't know why those Rangers retreated. This Wesp is kind of on its own. The Panzer 38T is at Vet 2, but really low health. And 2 Panzerschrecks were actually dropped there in the center. We have both engineers waiting around to repair the Sherman, so he's always got repairs ready. Well, I really would like to see an upgun or something. It doesn't look like he's producing anything else, though. He's probably going to get a 4th Sherman. Just spam Shermans. Just like how Wehrmacht does when they fast tech tier 3. Just spam Stugs to kill Shermans. Speaking of which, the Stug 3, the austere one, is actually going to be nerfed in the next patch in terms of actual price, because the Stug 3 in the current patch is so spammable at like 55 fuel, so it's going to get up to like 65. And I'm just saying all of these patch things because, like, next patch, because the next patch is actually going to be released soon enough. We are recording this on the 31st or the 1st of August. The next patch should be released within a week, or within the next week or 2. So once we get that next patch, we'll actually be seeing some tournament play, because now we'll actually have some more balance going on. Rangers going after those Panzerjägers, Vet 1 Panzerjägers with defensive Vet. Vet 2 rifles getting pretty messed up there. Oh, Rangers get Vet 2 off of killing those Panzerjägers. Ace Vet Lancers with their Shrek standing around. Now these Rangers are just kind of tanking the field. They can't take on everything, but they can take on enough. Ooh. That was a nice little... due to pathing, that Sherman almost got that rifleman killed. Whoa, Panzer 38T is actually Vet 3. And wow, those Shermans are really wrecking it. Nice kill on the Panzer 38T. That's one little victory for the Americans. Now can they just keep his Shermans alive with all these Sturm Fusiliers and these Ace Vet Lancers with the Shrek. And whoa, Sturm Fusilier is getting really low, gets crushed by like one false swoop from the Sherman. Ace Vet Lancer's getting really low too. Turret damage on one of the Shermans.
Oh god.
Vet 1 Sherman, and oh god, the Shermans are going for the kill. They're going for it.
No.
Oh, they're going for the Wesp instead. That would be a massive victory if he kills this Wesp, but which he will, because he upgunned the Shermans. And there goes the Wesp. Sturm Fusiliers are going after them. The other Ace Vet Lancers moving out. Sturm Fusiliers down to 2 men, almost dead. The Ace Vet Lancer is getting crushed by the Sherman. And whoa, this Sherman spam is working. It's Vet 2 Sherman. Oh god, those Ace Vet Lancers. No! Oh god, that was like... they almost died. That was pure luck. Like, you just have to sit there and kiss yourself. You got so lucky. Another Pansy, the other Panzerjäger squad's out now. the Vet 1-1. We actually have the Martyr 2 out to fight all these Shermans, but oh, off-map called in on the base, and he's retreating right into it. So many drop Panzerschrecks. That Martyr 2 is doing a lot of damage to that Sherman's rear armor. And here we go with another Sherman.
I should have gotten Panthers ages ago.
Yeah. Does he have tier 4 tech?
No.
Oh! Well, that's causing problems.
Well, he only has 10 fuel income. He should have done something about that.
Yeah, what's his unit composition looking like? He lost some units there, or almost lost units. I'm not sure exactly what he lost. I know he lost a Stern Fusilier.
Right now he has 3 Lancers, 2 Stern Fusiliers, 1 Engineer, and Panzerjäger squad. And
wow, his
Martyr as well.
His army has gotten really beaten back.
Yeah, if he tech tier 4, he might be able to get a Panther up, but...
Well, I mean, now you have vetted Shermans running around with upguns. I don't think that Panther's gonna have a fun time dealing with all of that.
Oh, no, not alone.
Ace Vet Lancers and Stern Fusiliers are trying to take out as much as they can, but all these Shermans, this Sherman spam is ridiculous. Plus all these drop Panzerschrecks from the Stern Fusiliers. I actually, I never knew how much, because I remember before, Stern Fusiliers had a problem of not actually dropping their Shreks that often. Vet 1 rifles are getting really low though, and the Vet 2 Rangers are as well. It's odd. In all honesty, if Maxcov had taken advantage of his advantage what he had with the Panzer 38T and everything, he probably could have legitimately won, because the Panzer 38T was uncountered for a long time, even with stickies. In terms of VPs, it's 178 to 130. It's been pretty even. The All-Star player really pulled it back after that hard early game. But here we go with all these Shermans. We have a Pack 40 out, which is one of the best packs in the game in terms of actual DPS. Pack 40 and the Martyr. Turret damaged on one of the Shermans, so it's actually not going to fire its turret that fast. Martyr goes down. Vet 2 Sherman. 2 Vet 2 Shermans. They're running back. Almost get sniped. One of them almost gets sniped out and killed. The other two are preparing for a massive engagement if the Lancers want to, you know, take the risk. Ace Vet Lancers, the double Ace Vet Lancers are actually finding the Vet 2 Rifleman and these Shermans. It's not exactly a good idea. Oh! Another Vet 2 Sherman. 3 Vet 2 Shermans. And that rifle squad finally picked up another BAR, so I think that's 3 on that squad. Think about this strategy that Muibed went for. Think about this strategy with Armor Company. Just think about that. Just that's just it'll just make you cry. It'll just make you cry. You just couldn't live with that.
How much munitions does he have?
He actually doesn't have a lot of munitions because he bought another Ranger and got SMGs. He has 86 munitions at the moment, but he has a 54 munitions income.
Oh yeah.
So for 54 munitions income with double SMG Rangers, one with full SMGs and one with 4 and two what's it called? 2 bazookas. And Vet 0 Lancer almost goes down. Stern Fusiliers are down to 1 man. Game Vet 2 go down to the SMG Rangers. And this reminds me a lot of a game I saw on the Frontline Network of Alijaz versus someone where he was using his Rangers together in like a splinter group. And wow, these Rangers are really doing some damage, some DPS, at least the Vet 2 ones. The Vet 1 ones were kind of not doing that great because they had bazookas. But the Vet 2 ones, since they have 4 SMGs, they're just doing massive DPS when they finally fire instead of just running around like idiots. Is that a... Yeah, it's a Panzerjäger squad with a BAR. That's interesting. That was a stupid decision, though, to run into a... like 5 Shermans. And all the guy had left was a BAR. He was trying his hardest, and he just died.
And he's trying again.
Oh god!
What the hell?
What is he doing? What are you doing, Maxcov? Oh goodness. And that Pack 40 has done absolutely nothing. It's like running your infantry right into the meat grinder. Just say, hey, Shermans, get some more vet.
Maybe he was sacrificing to his gods or something. I don't know.
Suppressive fire on those lancers to pin them down. Actually, a nice use of suppressive fire, because those were Ace Vet Lancers versus Vet 2 Riflemen, and Ace Vet Lancers will almost always beat Vet 2 Riflemen, last I checked, so it's a pretty good decision to suppressive fire them. It's a good use of 40 munitions. Maxcov's army has just been constantly getting wrecked, and actually this Pack 40 is almost dead, and it's gone, destroyed. And gains those riflemen Vet 2 for the vehicle kill. Here come the Shermans. Heavy cavalry on the to the rescue. This is gonna be good. That grenade wasn't even worth it. Oh my god. Oh my Jesus, this is hilarious. Oh, off-map in the base, off-map in the base. Just do it, just for the sake of it. And think about this. All these Shermans with 50 cals. All of them with 50 cals at vet. Oh, jeez. Ace Vet Lancers down to one man. Still haven't died. There's some troopers. And this is definitely like the game here. Sherman, and there's the off-map in the base, just to seal the deal, on top of all those units. Still didn't lose his Ace Vet Lancers. GG. Very GG. Oh god. Oh, one Sherman went down to the Pack 40 gave it that one. And there's the game. Wow. That was a game. Yeah, Sherman spam for the win. So, what did you think, Seamus?
Well, it was just looking at all the things that could have been done better. Just, you know, seeing those two 10+ fuels not really doing anything with it. That's could have got the Panthers, but
yeah. One thing the Maxcov could have done differently in this match, and it is just, and like, I guess I was a bit too harsh to him in the early part of the cast, was that one thing he could have done better, because he's getting better, but one thing he could have done better was actually use his fuel more efficiently, because the problem with tier 3 based strategies I find with Austere, and this is just something I found out even in my own playing in 1v1s, is that Austere tier 3 is actually not as good as it seems. It looks good on paper, but actually against most teams it's actually not as good as you'd think.